Plaintiff Valerie Eileen Robinson says the defendant is her younger brother. And when she left home for the Army, the defendant became addicted to heroin. Valerie's suing because he agreed to help with their mother's funeral expenses and has failed to do so. Defendant Michael Johnson says he didn't become addicted to heroin and alcohol until he was an adult, and he admits that he still struggles with his disease to this day. Michael's countersuing because he claims Valerie falsely accused him of stealing from her.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Yes, sir. Michael's my youngest brother. I'm 5 years older than Michael. It's 4 siblings. We was raised by a single mother. We all have different fathers. Michael's always been my baby. I love my brother. Michael has a drug problem on heroin. When I was 17, I enlisted in the United States Army and left home at 17, and Michael was 12. During that time, my life took a different route, but Michael got into the streets of Delaware, and he lost his way, and he's been in and out of jail and off and on rehab with drugs. And with the love of our mother, he come back home, and then he go right back out.
At what age did he start messing up?
Excuse me, Your Honor, excuse me. Right, I had to step in here. You know, I gave you a chance. So,
go ahead.
I left home at 12, Your Honor.
I'll let you know when you gotta step in.
I left home at 17. Michael was 12 years old. I don't know.
And that's when he was getting in trouble? He started?
No, it was less. He was older, probably after high school.
Oh, okay. Well, now you can step in.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, I didn't start getting in trouble until I was an adult. Unfortunately, I dealt with disease of addiction and things of that nature, and I did several things to combat that disease. Like my sister said, that she's my older sister.
The disease you're referring to is heroin?
It's heroin, Your Honor, heroin and alcohol. Right, that's my
How did you combat
my drug of choice. Yes, Your Honor.
How did you combat it?
Well, I'm going to recovery houses.
How many times?
In and out. Well, I could say not institutions, but incarceration.
No, that's forced help. I'm talking about voluntarily going into
going to rehab and things of that nature.
That's what I'm asking about. How many times did you voluntarily go into rehab?
3 times, Your Honor.
3 times? You went on your own?
Went on my own.
The court didn't have to order you? No one had to order you?
No.
All right, good.
I went on my own.
That is a strong attempt.
Yes.
All right, some folks have gone 7 and 8, so keep that in mind.
Because it's a disease, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, I have relapsed. No, I admit that. But what I'm here today for is this funeral expenses that she alleged that I owe her, Your Honor, and that I have paper here stating that I was the beneficiary of my mother's life insurance policy.
But Michael, we want to finish with the back brief.
By the way, how long was your in-house treatment?
Well, my in-house treatment was for a year. And I was there for 6 months, and
okay, we gotta keep going back. You refer to it as a disease, as a lot of folks do. So when you're sick, you gotta keep going back to the hospital, don't you?
Yes, you do.
All right, well, there it is. And also, we need the government to fund more for drug treatment because it's a disease.
It's a disease.
So if you have a disease, you go to the hospital.
That's right.
Tell them don't let you out until you're ready.
Right.
All right, you know I'm just giving you some good advice. You won't even have to pay rent. Go ahead, you can just stay there.
Okay.
And then when they say something, disease!
Okay.
Go ahead.
But, Your Honor, over the years, I retired from the Army, became a Department of Defense civilian, traveling different places. So I would go home briefly, and Michael, he had a situation where with his disease, he ended up getting arrested. He breaking into someone's house, and he fell asleep, and they found him in there. So
the people were there?
The people he
the
was
people were there?
Oh, what are you talking about? Now, what you talking about is what you called the police on me.
No, that was the second incident.
Hold up, Your Honor, since you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. What happened was, Your Honor, that my sister came home to visit my mother's house, right? 2009. And I was in there, I'm 43 years old, and I was under the influence, right? I was using heroin and alcohol, like I said. My sister come in the house and everything, right? And she's hitting me. and stuff, right? And I'm telling her, yo, stop hitting me. You keep on hitting me and hitting me, right? I'm telling you, stop hitting me, right? So what I did was, I reached for the knife, no, stop hitting me. She took the knife from me because, like she said, she's coming back ready and all that.
Is that
right?
what this the incident?
And I came home.
She's not referring to this incident.
That's the second incident.
No, what I'm saying is that you're talking about something that she has not mentioned. You said you want to address it. What you need to address is what she mentioned. I'm sure it's more than one thing you've done to hurt people. Tell me about the funeral expenses.
August 16th, our mother passed away. Our mother was living with me in Savannah. She'd been living with me since 2014. Because in Delaware, she didn't want to leave Delaware in 2014 unless Michael was situated. At that time, Michael had been through rehab. He got into the Y. He was doing good, that she felt comfortable that she could leave and he'd be all right. He's her baby. He's the youngest. She loved Michael. She came to live with me. I was in Mobile, Alabama. From there, I moved to Savannah. She died August 16. Her death certificate says her heart, but we believe it was an allergic reaction to shrimp, which she wasn't supposed to eat.
How old was she?
She was 74. Wow. She would have been 75 this month. Anyway, when she passed away, she died in Savannah, so I had to have her body transported from Savannah to Delaware. We knew there was a policy, but with her dying outside state, they wouldn't touch her body unless she was, embalmed and moved. So I had to pay up front because we didn't have a policy. We didn't know what the policy was, where was the policy. So once we found, before we found a policy, I had her body transferred from Savannah to Delaware. I paid the expenses from that funeral home in Savannah. Once she got to Delaware, I paid the funeral expense in Delaware. And at that time, we found out she retired from GM, General Motors, so she had a good policy. I paid the funeral expenses. I talked to my brother and sister. All four of us got together. I assumed I was a beneficiary. I was not. After going through the
Why did you assume you were?
Because taking care of my mom all them years and being the responsible one in the family.
And the others weren't as responsible
No,
as
they
you?
weren't.
Yeah, and that's an odd thing that happens. I know that's happened many times. It's happened to me in one instance where I provided for a relative, a close relative, and I paid the rent for their last 10 years, everything.
Right.
Bought them cars, made sure they were taken care of. When they got sick, I made sure I paid the nurse and included my brothers, but not me.
Yeah, sir. But, being the oldest and it was her mother, if she didn't have a policy, I still would have took care of her. But she did have a policy. We found out Michael was a beneficiary. Wow. We talked about it. All I asked Michael was to pay for her funeral expenses. That's what the policy was for. But Michael seemed to think that was a windfall.
How much was the policy for?
One policy was for $10,000, the other one's for $20,000.
Okay. And it didn't say funeral expenses on the policy, did it?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
I don't know what it said on the policy. I didn't get it, sir.
Well, you said all that? You should have known that.
It said Barry, but...
What? How did you know his name was on it then?
After I sent the death certificate, they were dealing with me, and I did all the paperwork.
They told you. You didn't see it. You didn't see the policy. They just told you.
I didn't. No, sir. I never seen the policy.
Okay, they just told you that. All right, good enough.
They said Michael was a beneficiary.
All right, and so why are you suing him? Because you believe the policy should have gone toward the funeral?
Yes, I do, sir.
All right, and you don't know whether the policy said that?
No, but we did.
Because most don't. They leave the money to an individual.
I didn't know that, but we did have an agreement. If the policy was in my name.
Who had an agreement?
Me, Michael, and my brother and sister.
What was his
Michael,
part of the agreement?
Once he found out he was a beneficiary, he was going to reimburse me for the funeral expenses.
He made that agreement with you?
With me directly.
All right, and when you came to collect, what has he said?
He changed his mind. He sent me a check. At first, Michael was going to send me $15,000.
Did he send you anything?
He sent me $5,000, Your Honor.
Okay, and let me hear from you, sir.
Your Honor, this is the paper that she brought down for funeral expenses.
Let's see it, please. What is that?
This is what she sent me for funeral expenses, Your Honor. And like she said, though, when my mother passed away, she didn't inform me that my mother passed away. My niece did, and everything. And the way I found out that she passed away, she sent me a text about the funeral, when the funeral was going to be. You know what I mean? And then when I did talk to her, hold up, when I did talk to you, Valerie, I asked you, I said, now, Mom told me, because my mother told me in 2012 that she did have a policy, all right? And that I was a beneficiary of it. And when I talked to you on that day, I told you about it. That's how you knew. I told my sister, I said, look, Mom has a policy and I might be the beneficiary of it, because she told me that. But you said, well, I'm not going to check into that now. I'm going away. You was going somewhere with the military. You was leaving.
Mike,
and
you got the
therefore,
dates
that's why you
mixed up.
chose
He
to
got the
step up
dates.
and take care of the
Everything
funeral
stopped when my
expenses.
mother died. I wasn't going nowhere.
Let me have my
finish,
chance to
man.
talk,
Let him
please.
finish.
Because at the time when you said that, right, you said, okay, Mom has to be embalmed, all right? And I said, okay, Vad, you know what I mean, let me know what's going on. You didn't let me know nothing until you got up here. You got up here, you chose to embalm Mom and sent her up to Wilmington, Delaware and everything, right? So I'm waiting for you to call me and let me know what's going on. You didn't, because other people in my family wanted to know, Mike, what's going on with the funeral and everything of that nature? And because when my mom, like she said, my mom went down there to Savannah to live with her, right, 3 years ago, all right? And like she said, I was dealing with some things with my life and trying to get my life back on track. And like I said, I do live at the Y and things of that nature, and I'm trying to get my life, you know,
And
in a
that
new
may
way
be
of
why
life.
she left you the money.
Right, that's
knowing
right.
that
That's
you
true.
were
Right.
someone
that I was
who
financially
might have
right.
a harder time than the other
Right, Your Honor.
siblings.
I understand that.
Excuse me, you talk, let me finish talking.
I'm disagreeing, Mike.
Right, now, Your Honor, because I
What you doing with the other money? Let's get to that.
Well, I had plans.
All I've heard is $5,000 to her. Now, what have you done with this other money you said she gave you to get on your feet?
I put it in the bank and everything, right? You know, I put it in the bank.
What are you gonna do with it?
Because I have plans to put in mutual funds, things of that nature, so the money can benefit me longer down the road in my life.
Let's see, what do you have?
Well, I have where, Michael, when I found out about the policy the 20th of September, and I told him, you know, Mommy's funeral expense, and I broke down everything, and I told him I only asked for $10,000 to pay back, and I sent that to him. And I also knew I asked him to get help because he had relapsed during our mother's death. And so, and it was also the 21st was his birthday, and also sent him $200 for his birthday. So he came back with text messages stating that, you know, it came right on time, and this is what he's going to do with the money. He's going to give me this amount, 15, going to give her sister and brother some money. Then he's going to put the money up. He's going to go on rehab and get the help he needed. And then, you know.
Those are all promises of what he's going to do with his own money.
Exactly, Your Honor.
And until he does it, it's not a complete gift.
Okay.
He can't take the $5,000 back, for example.
Right, Your Honor, but I didn't see it as a gift.
Because that's been completed. Pardon me?
I didn't see it as a gift. I seen it as my mom had this insurance.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I'm telling you the law.
Okay, then.
All right.
Understand.
That's why I asked you, did she put on the policy that the benefits are supposed to go to her funeral expenses, and then after that to be divided by her children or the balance to him? There was no such thing.
Can I say one thing, Your Honor?
Yes.
She did say that this was to take care. I mean, she did have...
I know, ma'am. I said on the policy. And your counterclaim for defamation, how does she owe you?
Well, Your Honor, I feel as though she said that I stole money from her, and what I did was I said...
Where did she say that?
Well, she said to my family members,
Do you agree?
that's why I'm
Did you
here.
say he stole the money?
I didn't say you stole.
You say she didn't. You have evidence that she did?
I never said you stole.
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I can't grant you a judgment. I don't know to believe you over her unless there's some independent evidence. I can't just take your word that she said that you stole the money. She said she didn't say it. How do I know who to believe?
Exactly, Your Honor.
Right,
But,
that's
Your Honor,
exactly why I can't give you a judgment.
Okay, but Your
All right,
Honor, one
that's
thing-
enough.
Okay.
Your claim is dismissed. It was the promise of a gift. Nobody's name was on that but him. He had a right to do what he wanted to do with that money. Him telling you he's going to pay some of the expenses was the promise of a gift. He had no legal obligation to pay your mother's funeral expenses. Zero. He didn't have to give you the $5,000. He could have said, I'm not giving you a dime. She left it all to him to do what he wanted to do with it.
All right.
And if he wanted to shoot it in his arm until it runs out, it's all up to him. He did decide, I want to give $5,000 for the funeral expenses. But I'm sorry, that's
You're a millionaire. You got money.
She
I'm a
knew what she was
millionaire.
doing.
Yes, you is. You got plenty of money.
Oh, Your Honor, can I give him this?
What is that?
This is our mother. We had her, we had a
Never gave
funeral.
that to me.
I think it went to our sister in Delaware,
Look at that.
and she mailed it to me, and Michael
Is
didn't
that
pick up
something
this.
you want to deal with today?
No, not today.
All right.
Okay.
Your claim is dismissed, and so is yours. Have a good day.
All right, enough. Well, you know what I mean? Hey, listen here, man. I don't even know why I came here. You know what I mean? Just to bring me here to try to defame me on national TV was ludicrous. You know what I mean? I feel as though, you know, I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do with myself. You know what I mean? I'm a grown man. I'm not no child. You know what I mean? Everything she said was what she wanted me to do. I do what I want to do. I'm a grown man.
My relationship with my baby brother's over. That $30,000 ain't gonna last long. I mean, he's saying I'm a billionaire. If I was a millionaire, I wouldn't have brought him here. But at the same time, I paid for my mother's funeral. I took care of it, and he's gonna give me a gift.
I did give you money on it.
But he should pay for the funeral. That's what the expense was for. But it's all good. God is good. God don't.
You heard what Judge Mathis said.
That's true.
You know what I mean? With no legal nothing to it.
Don't call me.
I don't call you.